Okay, so right on the heels of the other one, we have a brand new falling price deal already. The difference with this one being 1 to 3 orbs per premium. It's pretty friggin' awesome. That's really cool. Starting tonight, newly improved falling price deal that guarantees a tier 4 or 5 medal with between 1 to 3 dots in each draw. That is pretty cool. That is pretty friggin' cool. Is it the best deal we've ever had? I think without exception that is the best deal we've ever had. Which is a cool thing, but it also means that as this game gets further and further in, every single banner should be getting better and better. Like if, with some obvious exceptions, and I'm glad that one just popped up on the bottom there. With some exceptions, every single banner should be getting better than the one before it. So, even though I know a lot of people are still being very cautious about this banner, for those thinking I'm going to rush in and throw all my jewels at this, if they're all getting better, then with time we will have better banners than this as well. Where could they go better from here? So if we think that, I'm not doing another pull, don't you worry about that. If every premium is going to have between 1 and 3 orbs on it, then better from there would be that every single medal in the pool lot has a chance of getting 1 to 3 orbs on it as well, like even the tier 2s and tier 3s. Or we have, 2 premiums with up to 3 dots on each one. Anyway, let's start speculating about the future, think about what this banner is and what it could be. So, let's imagine that this one here is the one with KHUx 7 on it. So obviously that there is KHUx 6. KHUx 7 is its counterpoint. So the artwork comes from when Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix was released in Japan. It was released as Kingdom Hearts Final Mix 2 Plus. Sorry, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Plus. And the Plus represented RE Chain of Memories. The very first time that had come out on the PlayStation 2, using the Kingdom Hearts 2 models for the Organization 13 members that weren't found in Kingdom Hearts 2 initially. So it's pretty cool artwork. I think I used to have it on my phone for quite a while, but basically RE Chain of Memory Sora was back to back against Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora, with all the other Organization 13 members and Namine, Roxas, important characters scattered around. Really, really cool artwork. So, what does the medal itself actually do? KHUx 7, I believe, is a very expensive medal that only lowers all targets' general defense by 1 tier for 2 turns. Which, honestly, as a banner medal, is not that good, especially following on the back of friggin' HD Namine. Compared to that, it's honestly kind of garbage. And, if you think that, like, Owl and Smee are 4-cost medals that lower enemies' general defense by 1 tier for just 1 turn, the difference between them and KHUx 7 is not really that noticeable, especially given that you're going to want a 1 turn. The majority of your enemies you're going to want a 1 turn, so it's like, yeah, obviously you can guilt it and do a hell of a lot of damage. I'm sure the multiplier is huge, but if you aren't able to guilt it, you never really see the difference, right? Yeah, the multiplier will hit pretty hard, but at the end of the day, we all want to guilt all these awesome medals, and given that we only have 3 or 4 brooms right now, they will definitely not be on your priority for guilting. Alright, so let's think about... There's a few things I want to get to here. So, if the rate of pulling KHUx 7 is similar to the rate of pulling KHUx 6, or even Namine or Roxas, from their respective banners, then the chances are... I say this the day after I pull a friggin' Namine. The chances of getting the KHUx 7 aren't going to be that high, but it's not the end of the world given that it's really not that good of a medal. Now, the reason you'll want it is because we most likely have a high score challenge coming up very soon. In fact, maybe even tomorrow. They could announce it later on. Probably not though, they'll probably wait a few days. But yeah, we most likely will have a high score challenge coming up very soon that features KHUx 6, absolutely, KHUx 7 as the 21% medals. I would guess that these ones up here, these 7, would be potentially 14% premiums, 14% score boosting medals. And maybe even these 2 would come back as some form of score incentives. If the high score challenge comes back and this banner is still around, you might be able to see them as like 10% boosters. But that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. So, okay, you want it for the high score challenge, but I don't really think KHUx 7 is that desirable outside of that. The real winner is obviously the dots on the premiums. That's the huge part about this deal. Now the way it says guarantees between 1 and 3 dots per tier 4 or 5 medal. Well, let me just get this little tinfoil hat and it's going to plonk that right here. This will never happen, but imagine if the banner comes out and it's like, oh, you know, every single tier 4 or 5 that you get is guaranteed to have 1 dot on it, and KHUx 7 is guaranteed to have 3 dots on it. So we are technically being correct when we're saying that every single premium will have between 1 and 3 dots on it. It's just going to have 1 or 3 dots. Anyway, that isn't going to happen, but you can imagine the uproar that would be caused if every premium only came with 1 dot. Anyway. Okay, I think there are going to be some people out there that immediately rush out and do a crap load of pulls. Go and take a look at those people. Go look on Discord, on Reddit, wherever else you get your news. See the rates at which people are pulling. See how many premiums they're getting out, and what the rate of like between 1 and 3 dots is. If we can assume that Square Enix is, well, CNAT is being fair in that every single premium, be it tier 4, be it tier 5, all have an even distribution of being able to be pulled. To my knowledge, there are 41 premiums currently in the game, including KHUx 7, that will qualify as being a pullable premium. So if you're going into this banner thinking, okay, I've got one premium in mind that I really want to gilt, that's probably the wrong way to go about it, just because there are so many premiums in here now that, what's that? If, let's round it down to 40, if there are 40 premiums in the game, if you were getting 1 per pull, the odds of getting the one that you want are about 2.5%. Does that make sense? 1 in 40 is 2, yeah. 1 in 40 is 2.5%. So it's even less than that if there are 41 to potentially pull from. So if you're going into it thinking, okay, I really want to gilt this one premium that I picked up a while ago, it's got a couple dots on it already, and if I just get 2 or 3 more dots on it, I can gilt it. It's probably the wrong way to go about it. So from that standpoint, I don't know if I can recommend the banner if you're chasing a particular premium to gilt. If you understand that you're not going to gilt your premiums, but right now anyway, but you're kind of like future-proofing yourself for, if I get a few dots here and there on a couple different premiums, when I get some more Mickey and Brooms medals, I can start going, okay, maybe I'll put a couple here, put a couple there. Over time, I'll get more premiums and maybe they'll add up here and there. Anyway, if you understand that, then you could go for it. Here's the thing, I probably won't be able to go for it just because it's going to start at 3,000 jewels again, right? It's not going to start at 1,900. By the time I've spent my 3,000 plus 2,500 plus 2,300 plus 2,100, I think I did the math last time, it worked out at 11,600, I think, to get your first 4 pulls. No, that can't be right, it must be less than that. Maybe it's only 10,700 or something, anyway. Whatever it is. By the time I've done that, I've just about spent all of my, oops. I've just about spent all the jewels that I have. Yeah, no, I'm not, as tempting as that is, I'm not buying any more, unfortunately. So I wouldn't be able to see the full benefits because I've done it to myself. I've gone and blown on my jewels on this nominate banner. And luckily it's paid off for me that I finally got a nominate, but a lot of people didn't get it. And I'm still horrifically thankful that I was able to get my nominate. Anyway. If you're the kind of person, Owen, who has done a lot of saving, a lot of scrimping, and has been like, alright, I've got a big old stash of jewels here. I could afford to blow the 10k necessary to get him down to 1,900. And from that point onwards, I'm getting minimum 1 premium with minimum 1 dot every single pull. I don't care what I get at that point because I do 5-6 pulls and I have a crap load of premiums with all I got a few dots on them, and I'm really close to gilting a bunch of stuff. I think if you've been saving up for a long time, this, and I'm talking like a lot of jewels, the amount I have right now is not kind of enough to justify doing a big spend. Well, A, because, like I said, I won't see the full benefit from having lots and lots of 1900 jewel pulls, and B, because I will be left with nothing, no savings whatsoever, in which case, I say a few times on Discord, I like to have this like rainy day fund. If they were to drop 0.2 Kari tomorrow, it's a 5 pull Mercy, then I'd be able to go and get her. That's not going to happen, obviously, she won't be coming out for a few months, but this is it helps me save to think that if you keep minimum 15,000 on you at all times, then in the event where you absolutely you have to pull, then you'll be able to do so. Like I said, it's not realistic. She's not going to be coming out for months, but it helps me keep from spending all my jewels, basically. Okay. Alright, I've gone off track. What was I saying? Let me get my thoughts back. No, I was saying that if you have a decent sized stash, and you know you're not going to gilt the one thing that you want to, but you're going to build up your build up your collection of premiums with dots on them, like it's a great time with dots, then this could be a deal for you. Again, if deals are getting better all the time, it could be a month or two before we start getting premiums that have dots as a regular thing, and maybe guaranteed 2 premiums, like at least 2 premiums with dots, and every other medal in the pool has dots, and you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So, okay, why are they doing this banner now? Well, what if it is a trap? What if they're like, okay, we're going to get people to spend all the jewels that they have, and then tomorrow, like the next week, we're going to drop the World of Final Fantasy banner again, and people, they got into a frenzy over it last time, they'll get into a frenzy over it this time, they'll go out and spend a bunch of money to get jewels back to try and gilt all the World of Final Fantasies while they can. What if, or you know, the some medals come next week, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, but if there's something so good that we all have to pull for it next week, if we've gone and blown all our jewels this week, then ran out of words. You know what I'm saying? But it could be a trap. It could be not as good as we think it is. Like the rates of pulling the really shitty tier 4 premiums could be higher than the rates of pulling tier 5s. In which case, that's why I said like be patient and look online for people that post all their pulls, not just the one glorious pull where they get 20 premiums in one pull. Look for the guys that post getting Saurodon and Goofy with 1 dot. Look for that guy. Alright? Try and get all the data that you can. There's a guy on Reddit, and I really can't remember his name, I'm so sorry, but it's Jason, I believe. I can't remember what his username is. But he used to compile these beautiful spreadsheets where you could see all the rates of people that submitted all their pulls, and it was really interesting to see the true rates of every pullable medal. Okay, just a side note. If what I'm saying is true, and it is a 1 in 41 chance of getting any particular premium that you want, just going off those spreadsheets that Jason used to make, I believe the banner medals had about a 2 to 3% chance of pulling them. If you were just to do a random pull, it was a 2 to 3% chance of getting the one that you wanted out. Which would mean that if every single premium in the game is a guaranteed 2.5% chance of being pulled, then there's no reason to pull from the Heishi Namine banner at all, because the chance of getting her is the same as the chance of getting her from this banner as well. Well, or just under. And she could have orbs in this thing as well. She will have orbs, minimum of 1. So, if the rates are even across every single premium in the game, then there really was no point to the first falling price deal, but that's just a little aside note. Okay, I don't want to waffle too much here, but yeah, let me think one more time. Okay, just to sum up, like, I think if you have around my level of jewels, it's probably not worth going for, especially if you're saving for something in the future. If you think that, okay, I've got my 0.2 Kari stash, I've got that saved away, I'll do a few pulls on this just to see what happens. Like I said, I'm not going for the one that I really, really want to gilt. I'm just seeing what happens, and maybe getting medals that I haven't thought of before. You know, maybe you get a premium that you'd never considered before, and you get 2 or 3 dots on it, and you go, okay, awesome. Maybe I can actually use this in the future. Maybe I want to put some brooms on it, whatever. Then maybe it's worth doing a few pulls. I mean, we'll see in a few hours though, we'll see. If the rates of getting premiums seem to be really good, and you're getting like 2 or 3, people seem to be getting 2 or 3 quite consistently, with 2 or 3 dots quite consistently, then maybe I'll change my tune. But I think the first time they introduce this deal, it won't be incredible. Like, the rates will be consistent of getting 1 or 2 or 3 dots evenly, and there'll be a very small chance of getting, a minuscule chance of getting 3 premiums, a decent chance of getting 2, but a very likely chance of getting just 1 premium. So, good deal. It's a good deal. If you okay, I'm still waffling on. Sorry guys. If we think about it like the jewels per premium aspect of it, again, that's not so important because obviously premiums are not as good without the gilts to back them up. But what's the best deal we've had for that so far? Probably the Mercy Pool deal of illustrated KH2 Kyrie, right? It was minimum 4 premiums first for your first 4 pools, and then if we think about each dot on Kyrie as its own premium, then effectively 5 premiums in the last pool, right? Because the 3 dots on Kyrie herself for 4, and then as far as I know, every single 5th pool would always have 2 premiums in it, Kyrie being one of them. Minimum, right? So minimum, if we add up 4 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1, is 9 premiums all up for 5 pools. So 15,000 joules for 5 pools, right? If we think about this deal in terms of our pools per premium, joules and also pools per premium, for, what did I say? I said 11,600 for 5. I'm remembering last week, so I could be wrong. 11,600 joules will get you bare minimum 10 premiums, right? Because if you only get 1 every single pool for 5 pools, and each one comes with just 1 dot, that's bare minimum 10 premiums for 11,600. That's pretty good. And obviously the rate's going to be better. Like, I'd be very, very, very surprised if anyone did 5 pools and just got 1 premium each time and just got 1 dot each time. I'd imagine if you do 5 pools, you're probably going to get 1, maybe 2 that come with at more than 1 premium medal, and at least, you know, they're all going to have somewhere between, you know, the average of 2 dots. Probably the average is going to be 2 dots, right? So it could be anywhere between 12, 13, if you get exceptionally lucky, maybe like 15, 16, 17, 18 premiums per 5 pools. And at that point onwards, all the pools are really cheap. So just in terms of the economy between premiums per joules, this is obviously going to be the best one we've ever had. But again, I say that every single time, because the next banner that comes out in 2 weeks, a month's time, whatever, could be better again. So I reckon if you've got a big stash, it's not the worst time to blow some joules on it. I think I'm going to hold off just because, like I said, my stash has been depleted. I really, really need to start saving again. But you never know, right? If it's around for 2 weeks, maybe I'll be able to afford 1 pool. Who knows? But alright, I don't want to waffle on any further. Brand new Organization 13 event tomorrow, so I'll see you for that. And until then, guys, I'll see you on Discord. All the best. Catch you later.